5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome, RoundTable family, to another episode of the Sports RoundTable Trio Edition. I'm your host, Rowdy, of course, always joined by my co-host, Little Bro Coop, and Big Boy, rocking the new background, Texas flag, Texas fight. Not too much fight out of those Texas Longhorns on the offensive side of the ball this weekend, boys. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about, number one, Texas going down at home, everything else that went down in college, and, of course, NFL, man. A lot of injuries. Dudes dropping like flies in the NFL. We're gonna talk about that. I know my fantasy team's hurting, so Big Boys. Last.
I think all three of us are doing pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Not as bad as me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I got one more win. But
in my other league, I'm doing pretty good. But I got a little plan here. I got a plan to go on about a 6-7 game run, make the playoffs, get hot at the right time, and take it.
So that matters.
I like it, man. I like it. Got that. WNBA champions season's over. Big Boy's excited.
Oh my gosh!
What, lost $40 million? I think that's the best they've done. I think actually.
That's the think about that. In the 20-something years, the best they've done is lose $40 million. Think about that. And then they go on strike saying we don't make enough money. Well, if I'm an owner, I'm gonna be like, what do you want from me? It's costing me money.
That's their best year, is losing $40 million.
The most watched year ever. But hey, good for them.
But just like I was trying to think about today, because it's not like obviously they lose that much. The salaries really haven't increased, but it's like, so they're spending on that on like, just to put lights and I guess make that.
I just don't think it's always been supplemented by the NBA.
Oh yeah,
I've never heard the real numbers.
And the donors and their NBA donors and stuff like that, and investors of the league itself, but I just don't even know how.
Well, it's a lot to put on an event. Like, they don't own the arenas.
Yeah.
So they're renting the arenas wherever they go to. Yeah. Getting how many girls are on a team? 15, 17 plus coaches.
15. Yeah, flights. I'm sure the flights is probably what kills them.
And they're mad because they're not getting private jets.
Hotel.
Yeah. Hotels,
travel and
food.
Guarantee is probably the big kicker. Yeah. Shit ain't cheap.
Yeah. But hey, they're on the up.
High flying action.
They had their best year this year.
Yeah. Best viewership. Yeah.
No, I wish them luck, but let's get real. Like, they're going on strike because they're not making enough money.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I do. Do I think some of them should be making more money? Yes, because they only make like 70, 70,000, 100,000. Some of them 125. They make their money off, endorsements. But I don't know. You can't get water from a rock, boys. It just that's how the life is.
They should be lucky and grateful that the NBA does back them. That's why they're really the only women's professional league there is. That's why baseball doesn't do it. MLB's not stupid. Like, they're not going to go back a professional softball league because they know the same thing would happen. NBA is the only one who does it. So, speaking of baseball, World Series matchups here starts this week.
The two worst teams
I couldn't even tell you who's playing.
The two powerhouses.
The two worst teams that could possibly be in it.
No.
Who?
It's not the two worst. It's
the Yankees and Ohtani, right?
And the Dodgers, yes, the two most stereotypical
I guarantee they're going to break viewership records for the World
Series. Yeah.
The two biggest spending teams.
The ones that spend the most money, the ones that have the most money, the ones that can go get whoever they want to come play.
Okay. Let them talk about baseball.
Usually that never happens, though. Usually it's never the team who spends the money. So, honestly glad that it's finally worked for them so they can see some return on spending all that money. But for the game, bro, the biggest superstars on that stage playing against each other, biggest teams. The MLB is they're so glad that the Dodgers ran that way. Have you seen the
Japan?
Oh
yeah,
viewership just from Japan alone,
14 million or something.
Oh, that's one they're going to shatter the World Series viewership record.
Yeah,
big
no doubt.
So I think that starts Let me see. I think it's Thursday.
I thought you sent me the thing with the Padres, that guy that hit the home runs. You sent me a tweet a couple days ago about it. I thought they had made it.
They start Friday.
Who are they playing? The Yankees?
Padres played the Dodgers.
Yeah, that makes
They
sense.
lost. Yeah.
The Yankees played the Guardians. So they start Friday night. Yeah.
And the Guardians were the Indians.
Yes.
I mean, what's wrong with Indians? Like, why is that offensive?
I don't know.
Chief Wahoo? Okay, I get it. Like, but I thought that was one of the coolest logos there was. But
That's just what they're called, man. I don't know. The Yankees won the series 4-1, and the Dodgers beat the Mets. With the Mets is another big spending.
yeah,
4-2. So Friday World Series kicks off. Baseball. There you go.
I watched some of the World Series. That's always good.
I've watched a little bit of playoff baseball. I really haven't watched much yet, but World Series. Everyone will watch the World Series because it's just everywhere. It's not like NFL Monday night games on freaking ESPN Plus. What are we doing? Why is the NFL game on ESPN Plus?
Money.
They gave you one for free, you know.
What are we doing?
And listen, ESPN Plus, every time I log in, I have to relog. Dude, yesterday I got so flustered.
That's the first time I've ever seen an NFL game on ESPN Plus. I haven't seen it on Peacock and all that kind of stuff.
It's how it's going to be. They're going to sell to Amazon, to ESPN Plus, to all the different streaming services. You're going to have 10 of them to watch the whole season. And if you want to watch your team every week, you're going to have to buy NFL package. Just get used to dropping a G for watching NFL football. Or get you a Fire Stick, one of the two.
Yeah.
Well, how are we doing, boys? How's the weekend? Coop,
I think we need to just go right into the topic of the day. I think.
Just get us into it.
I think so. Number 5 Georgia comes into Austin, beats number 1 Texas by 15. What are your overall thoughts on that? I had to rewatch the game. I had a great weekend down in downtown Austin. Austin was popping, but the Horns were not. So what are y'all's overall thoughts on that game?
I mean, now that it's not right after. I mean, hey, they got beat. Georgia came in here, spanked them. I mean, defense to me did enough to win the game. Offense looked horrendous, and I think this is the first game that we've seen we miss Cedric Baxter. I really think that would have been a difference. Pass blocking and running the ball. Seems like Sark doesn't trust Gibson, and Blue, he didn't even have a
Wasn't
rush.
even trust Blue either. Blue got 0 carries.
Well, he had 7 touches. So he had his opportunities. I think the game plan was different, and then they got behind. And
yeah, that's what Sark said. He said they just threw off the game plan early, how it started, and he said it wasn't intentional for him not to get any carries. So I did see a thing on Gibson. They said they want to manage his workload going forward because he had so much those first few games with Weisner and Blue getting hurt.
Wow.
That the season's so much longer that they want to take his workload back during the middle of the season just in case if one of those dudes do go down, they're thin after him. So,
well, and the path, I do think pass pro does come into play. I mean, it's
really never ready for that.
Yeah, it's different, especially when you play in Georgia. So I get it.
Yeah. But the Hornets did show that they could play against a real quarterback. Carson Beck only had 175, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Yes, 3 interceptions. That last one was a pick. Shout out Texas student section. But they answered that question at least. We know that the defense can come in and play against a true quarterback. Now the rush defense
wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be worse. I will say.
I don't know. Etienne still ran for 87 with 3 touchdowns. So
yeah, but they started at the.
That is true. They started.
His longest one was 15. He had He had a 2-yard run, a 1-yard run, and a 15. Those were his touchdowns.
Yeah.
I do think Georgia should have ran the ball more. If I was Georgia, I would have liked to see that.
Yeah, I mean, because he ran at 19. I mean, he averaged 4.6.
Yeah.
Sure. But that's just Georgia's just they're a passing team, man.
This year they are,
Especially
for sure.
Their run has been struggling the past few weeks, so it was good for them to be able to get it going a little bit. I mean, they should have known that they would have been able to run up the middle. But
do y'all think that Sark benching Quinn right before half and putting in Arch was a good idea, or no?
I mean,
Because it stirred up a lot of stuff, I think.
Coming out of the out of halftime, Quinn did have a good drive. So I mean, I don't think Arch, when he came in, did anything.
I think you could have had Tom Brady back there, and it still would have been the same outcome with the offensive line play.
I don't agree with that.
Yes, 100%.
If Quinn steps up on some of those, there's about 3 less sacks. I'll tell you that right now. And you can say whatever you want.
When you don't have any time as a quarterback, what are you going to do? What are you supposed to do?
Well, how much time do you want? There was times, trust me, there were times that those defensive ends got into him, but also he could have helped his offensive line and stepped up in the pocket.
I think for sure too, but I'm just saying, like, overall,
the guards played pretty good pass pro. They didn't really, besides obviously that last play when they brought big time pressure up the middle, it was all pretty much from the outside. So that's where him not
our boy Banks. Our boy Banks.
Bro, Banks graded out as like an 87.
I know, and the guy he's going against is an All-American. That kid's freaking a stud.
He really didn't do that. Like Big Boy said, like he steps up. 2 of those sacks that they get on Banks, like they're not sacks. And I think too, then they've talked about is that was it opening drive where Weisner dropped that pass over the middle.
It would have been a totally different game.
Would have been a touchdown. They would have stopped bringing so much heat.
It was a bad pass too.
Yeah.
It didn't hit him in stride. He should have caught it, but it wasn't not. I mean, he was wide open. But I don't know, man. I don't think Arch Manning would have done much different. I mean, he could have ran the ball more, but how many times do you really want Arch running the ball? Then they put a spy on him, and I don't. I was surprised that he pulled him.
I did too. Did you see his face? Did you see how defeated he looked?
Well, wouldn't you feel that way? I mean, what are we talking about? Of course he's going to feel that way.
No, I'm just saying, is that going to have an effect on the next coming weeks?
I hope not.
Is that a confidence, like, debuster, Because it could be.
The game and what he said to him yesterday and today. It depends on what he said to him.
Sark is in a position where he has to be extremely careful. I personally believe, right, everybody knows what I think. I personally believe that Sark has got to go with Arch, right? And here's why, because Quinn's done. Quinn is not even a top 3 round. I don't even think like a top 3 round pick. Realistically, right? Realistically, if we would have started Arch for OU weekend, if we would have started then, right, and he would have gotten to play that game, he comes into Georgia and the outcome's different because you're talking about we don't have any time with our with the O-line, right? You're saying we don't have any time. Who's a quarterback that has shown they can do well without having a lot of time? Look at the Mississippi State game. He didn't have all the time in the world. He had to scramble a lot in that game, right? So when you're looking at a quarterback who can extend plays, Quinn is not the person to do that. Is he or is he not? Like, I don't know. Am I wrong? Have we?
I get what you're saying, but we don't know what would have happened against OU. We don't know, and he might have got smashed by a linebacker and been sitting on the sidelines too with a broke neck. But we don't know what could happen, but I just don't think that. I don't know, man. I feel you. I feel you. I think
the majority of like UT fans at this point, it's like. Quinn's had his opportunities. What is this, year 5 now, right? He's had his chances.
Yeah, and he took us to the playoff last year.
Okay,
and won the Big 12.
But
and he beat Michigan at Michigan.
I mean, however, I think we can prove that Michigan is not the same Michigan, right? Obviously, the Big 12 is is not a very solid conference considering the fact that we ran through it. I think even now we're seeing the effects of like how good that it really was, right? So I don't necessarily sure he got us to the place where we were. Realistically, Texas should have been there multiple years in a row, right? Texas had the weapons, but I wouldn't say Texas knew how to use the weapons properly. Now we have a coach who does, right? But you giving Quinn another shot to get to that point, right? I think if you look at the road we have ahead, Vanderbilt on a Saturday, that's a perfect chance to let Arch get back in his groove, right? Not a lot of pressure there. And then we roll with him through the season, right? Because here's the deal. He needs to take a play out of Saban's book, right? And start Arch just like Saban did sitting Jalen Hurts, right? He needs to be able to take that play. But I don't know what Sark's scared of.
That's too big of a risk because it's
See,
too big of a risk, Dan. It's too big.
But
here's
they're
the
the
thing.
number 5 team in the nation. And
Yeah.
we're talking like this dude just sucks.
Games.
Like I don't.
Listen, hold on. Let me say something.
I mean, he lost one game.
Hold on.
against
Yeah.
a great
At the
team.
start of the
so-
season, did any of us really think that Texas is going to go undefeated, win
I
the
said
SEC,
9-3.
go to the Natty, win the Natty?
I said 9-3.
No. So why are we all like? Everyone's getting caught up in the beginning season hype of Texas this, Texas that. No one, I don't think, has said, at least any of us three, that they were going to go undefeated this year. We expected losses this year in the SEC.
I expected a national championship, Coop. That's what I.
And you're still in the running for
right
it.
there. You went out. You're in the SEC.
With
championship.
Quinn at the helm, we're gonna lose to Georgia again. That's gonna happen again.
You better worry about
The second
some
half,
other
the
teams
second
at
half
first.
of Georgia, if Texas plays like they did in the second half of Georgia, they win the game on both halves. They win the game. They won the second half.
I would say that if our defense can like play like that, because our defense played well.
Lights out, bro. Our defense is legit. I was telling them before that we were getting talk about how our defense hasn't played a true quarterback. Carson Beck went 175, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Well, don't get it wrong either, because there were some big drops by Georgia that were big third downs and they were wide open. Now, I do believe the defense played good. But that's part of it. Drops are part of it. But the offense is where it was. When you get 4 drives from the 35-yard line, I mean, you're gonna score. Like this is big time ball.
I mean,
And those were from
Georgia,
4 turnovers.
Just because they lost to Alabama, everyone wanted to put Georgia off. Like,
I
bro,
don't believe
should
Alabama
SEC
is
this
good.
year, like,
They've lost 2 games in 3 years, man.
yeah.
Like we didn't lose to like the Sisters of the Poor. Like it just is what it is, man.
Like they lose to like Vanderbilt or like in Arkansas or Florida. Sure.
And we
Like,
can still have this
we
conversation.
can have a problem, but like just because they lost that one game, like everyone's had a letdown game this year. Everyone's lost the game this year.
Like we said, I really hope that Sark pulling Quinn and playing Arch in the first or right before the second half. I hope that doesn't like confidence, not Quinn's confidence.
think-
Well, he came back in the third quarter and scored 2 touchdowns.
I think it should help.
I agree.
I think it's gonna help because he thought Sark was like, oh, like Sark's he didn't mention
He'll never do this type thing.
He's never gonna do it. So I think we'll obviously see Saturday. I mean, because he's gonna play. We'll see if it lit under like, damn, like Sark's not screwing around anymore. Like this was my little warning shot. Like you figure this shit out and stop being a little, you know what, and step up in the pocket and put some zip on the balls and maybe scramble here and there, or else I'm gonna get my ass benched.
He does need his footwork. It goes back to what the problems were the last 2 seasons is his footwork, and he doesn't step into things
after the injury. Like just like 2 years ago when he got injured to Bama and he came back against like the Oklahoma State game when he was god awful, like terrible. So like it was after those bigger hit injuries like that where he's come back just so passive. Like he would not move out of the pocket there. Like so that's what he's got to figure out. And if he doesn't figure out, then Sark will do it. Obviously, we've seen it now. Like
So my question is, what's the problem with the other option, who can run and throw.
Not experienced enough.
It's
the same thing like
Experience.
what Tennessee with.
It's a different type of football, I think. I think Arch has played a bunch of no ones his whole life, and it's just a different type of football. I don't think he's ready for yet.
We don't know, but I do think the better option is Quinn at this point. I mean, but hey, who knows? I might be wrong, but
in the long run, sure, Arch.
I think Arch is going to be great. I think Arch is going to be great.
And his 2 drives, he missed he missed some wide open dudes too, and
he got sacked and fumbled.
He got 2 drives.
Yeah, but in those 2 drives, like he had a dude run wide open over the middle.
For sure. But you're like a 20-year-old, 19-year-old who
he's not ready.
Who gets 2 drops? No. He's ready when he can settle in just like anybody else, right? He gets 2 drives.
He still makes the dumb mistakes. At least Quinn will get rid of the ball or just take it.
I mean,
bro, like he did again. Like
you're gonna give or take. I wish we could combine both of them because you're gonna get some from one thing and you're gonna get the other from the other thing.
I don't because here's the thing:
you can't is being able to run and not scared to throw the ball deep. That's all you get from Arch.
Until he gets hit.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
he hasn't gotten hit yet. Like,
I mean, he did get hit a little, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't think you throw away Quinn because of this game. If it continues,
if you keep Quinn in, we're gonna come up short, right? Or you throw Arch in there, maybe we do come up short with him, but we know damn well next year he's got a year of the SEC under his belt, a playoff run under his belt, and we're damn sure going to win that next year, right?
And a brand new offensive line.
It's all 5.
And brand new receivers. I mean, there's a couple guys that'll still be there, but you got 3 guys that are probably gone. You got guys on defense that'll be gone. I mean, every season in college is a new team, basically. I mean,
but if we're talking about experience,
Elm will be gone.
Quinn it gives you the best chance to make the long run at the end of the day, to be able to make a run in the playoffs.
I'm confused. What hasn't Quinn proved yet?
Well, he can't throw the deep ball. I'll be the first to say that.
But he has though.
When against Alabama, when he threw those moon shots, okay, he hit 2 of them, and that was, to me, every time Quinn throws the ball deep, I'm like, oh shit.
But is that Sark's offense though? What's Sark's offense made out of?
I don't know, man. I will agree with Jinx on this. When Casey Thompson was throwing deep, when Arch is in, but again, Arch played teams that weren't that good. But
you got to give him a shot, is my thing, right? You can't give him 2 drives under that kind of pressure. 2 drives, right? Realistically, if you swapped that, I promise you, Quinn is folding, right? You're walking in there. What does he have to do to stay in the game at that point? He brings him in. Arch knows if I don't score here, I'm going to get pulled out of the game.
Arch was never He was never staying. Arch was never staying in. He was going to go back to Quinn after the second half, no matter what.
I was surprised he pulled a period. Like I thought coming out of halftime it was going to be Arch. Like personally,
I think if Arch goes down there and scores 1 time and it looks halfway decent, I promise they would have brought him in for the second.
This is crazy talk to me. Quinn has done it. He's shown. He came into Texas and they were 5-7, and then this past year they won 10 games, won the Big 12, beat Alabama at Alabama, went to the college football playoff, comes in this year, starts off the season good.
He wasn't there at 5-7. He was there.
Comes back, beats that breaks off of a not great Oklahoma team, but still Oklahoma.
Did he beat the brakes off of them?
35-3.
They did beat the brakes off of them, actually.
Like the second highest point differential in 20 years.
I think Arch is going to be great in the future. I really do. But
the future is now, Coop.
No, it's not. You still have that dude there.
Just because of 1 half against Georgia, you don't bench a dude who, before he got hurt, was the Heisman favorite, the first favorite for the first quarterback to go. Like now Sark needs to be real with Quinn and be like, bro, like if you're actually hurt and like it's bugging you to be able to step up in the pocket and make hard
Sure.
goes and run, then you need to be straight up
Sure.
and tell me, and then and so we can give you more time because you're about to go into a bye week after this week. Because that's the thing too, is I think that's what it is. I mean, like I said, it was 2 years ago, like Bama, like his mindset was fucked up after his injury. And so I think that's the big piece of it, because when he comes out and he's actually, and he's healthy, he plays. And
That's one thing that does work. Like Quinn said something about, it's still bothering him.
yeah, it's
And
still,
Sark basically said, I didn't know nothing about that. To me, that's weird,
You gotta
because
lie.
like
You
should
gotta lie
have-
there as a head coach. I don't care who it is. You have to have his back.
Yeah, and that was kind of like
well, it's not like, well, not everyone's 100% at this point.
no one is at this
It's
point.
true. But if it's to the point where it's making you not step up and not what you're doing at the start of this season, like then you need to be realistic and not hurt yourself's chances and your team.
And honestly, I think Kirby it just came in with a game plan and that they were ready for, and they just they
knew
beat him
every time when they
in
were
every
running down
aspect of the game.
zone.
They beat him.
Yeah,
I mean,
He
so
knows what they do with him.
Huh?
They only throw to the sides, think and dump with him. That's what he does. Quinn and Sark are just the small pat. Like that's what they are. Arch opens the field up, right? We've seen
Yeah,
that.
that's all he has is deep.
We've
He
seen
doesn't.
that.
He doesn't think, and he doesn't know how to hit the dude 10 yards away. He doesn't hit that. Like he throws the deep ball 100%. His deep ball is great, but he doesn't. When he throws the
Doesn't
deep ball,
throw tight 10, 15-yard passes. He doesn't do that.
no, he does not.
it's just
I'm not saying he can't, but he doesn't check down as good as Quinn.
Like he forces it whenever he doesn't need to.
I think that's what Quinn does a lot too much. Is he's checking down too much. Now against Georgia, he wasn't doing much of anything, but. I hate that screenplay. I hate it. It almost got picked for 6.
That was the first time.
I told you it's
I
gonna
was
happen.
waiting for it. I was like, oh boy, I'm about to hear a coughing.
I hate that play.
The blind screen or whatever.
I mean, it hurt not being able to run the ball either. At the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean they had 29 rushing yards.
Or maybe Sark shouldn't have got away from it so quick because they were able to run the ball. Like
Why
UT was able to run the ball when they did. They just got away from it. Like Sark, he's like, man, we're down 14. I'm going, just like year one, when our defense would be out there and then they go 3 and out because they tried to throw the deep ball 3 times.
Yeah.
And then the defense was right back out there, like, and they weren't that good. They're lucky that the defense they had. Alfred Collins stepped up.
Yeah.
Baron Sorrell stepped up. I mean, they had some games.
The defense played great.
I mean,
And we would have thought that
no,
at the beginning of the season, we thought it was the opposite, which is crazy.
If I told you before the game they had Carson, they picked off Carson Beck 3 times, you'd say no way we lost.
yeah, and he didn't throw a touchdown.
And
And had 175 yards.
He was under
So
I think another thing that you could look at from the offensive perspective, just seeing it as like a spectator, like they could hit, right? And they had a heavy push on, like when we were digging and like passing the side, checking down, like we weren't getting a lot of run after catch, right? Because that's something that I feel like we haven't seen as like an offense is a team that can really lay the stick. And
that has good pursuit.
we haven't seen a fast defense.
We haven't seen a
fast as
team with
that.
good pursuit, and that's what we saw.
And even I saw some plays like the DBs, like they would be like the one that Quinn threw the pick. Like that DB was guarding Helm and was running with Helm, and he just had his eyes on Quinn and just decided to just leave Helm and jump the corner out. Like that dude was open with the dude who was guarding him. Like their DBs just, I mean, they
and that's a lot of film, and that's good coaching that we ran into. That's just what that is.
film, and I mean, and like what I seen y'all earlier with
Got out coached.
those edge rushers knew every time Texas was running the ball. Every time they knew based off how Banks was set up or what the formation looked like, they knew what was coming.
They came in better prepared, and they won in that one.
It was like 2 years ago with the loss at home against TCU when TCU knew every dang play that was coming.
Well, plus Jared Wiley knew all the signs, and Sark didn't change them. I mean, that's been told. I mean, that's Sark's fault.
But we'll see.
Right.
I think it's something like obviously talked about now, but like see what this weekend brings because they're bye week after this weekend. So see.
And this is a perfect
I'm
week.
nervous for this weekend.
I am
Listen,
too.
listen, but that's why this is a perfect week to go in and handle business. Because Vandy, listen, boys, Vandy's ranked number 25. Like
They can
they're
run
there.
the ball.
They can run the ball.
And they're
They have
I think they're ranked
2 huge wins.
I think they're ranked 11th in time of possession. Like they make you play their game. I think that's where Texas needs to really run.
You got to go play in front of 6,000 people. Like it's a whole different experience there, man.
More Texas fans than Vandy fans, like the Bama game was, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The thing is, Vandy's going in again with nothing to lose, and Texas
Yeah.
going in with everything to lose. I think there's a lot of trap games still left on the schedule, and that's the scary part. Because I mean, I look at even going into Fayetteville, that doesn't look pretty to me. And then
At least it's not at night. They announced that it's in the morning,
Yeah,
which is
it's
good
fine.
for our sake, but still.
Yeah. And then having to go into College Station as well, those are not guaranteed wins. Like those are just like where we're at right now. I don't think that's a guaranteed win.
I think for everyone in the SEC, there's no more guaranteed wins for anybody.
Exactly,
bro. Like that's just how the SEC is built this year. It's like anybody can beat anybody besides maybe Florida freaking pounded Kentucky this weekend just out of nowhere. So literally, I think anybody. Mississippi State's had so many close games.
What are they, 1-6? Or did they just win?
No, they just lost to A&M.
Yeah,
They're 1-6. But they only lost to Georgia by like 10. They
lost to A&M by 10. They lost to Georgia by 10.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Kentucky. All these, everyone's playing. Everyone good.
There should be no trap games for UT this year because you should know that everybody wants a piece of you because you're the new guy in the SEC.
Well, and it's just a fact now.
If they get a trap game, it's Sark's fault.
Yeah, well, and it's you've seen Arkansas beat LSU. You've seen Kentucky beat Ole Miss and almost beat LSU. You've seen which they don't play South Carolina, but same type of team. Florida, right? They just beat Kentucky, had some close games now that they're kind of starting.
It's all over the place.
It is all over the place. It really is.
Oh, the whole college football is in general. The Big Ten is the exact same way as SEC right now.
I would say we're probably the only team out of a few, or I would say us and a few are the only consistent, we kind of go in saying we're going to win a game and looking like we are, and we do, except for this last game. Yeah. I think this last game was kind of the only game, but you were saying earlier, it's not like they're a bad team. We didn't lose to a bad team.
Well, listen, here's the thing.
Everyone before the season started, before obviously they lost to Bama, before Georgia lost to Bama, that was 10-2, 11-1. That was one of the losses for sure, and the other loss.
I had them down as a loss. I thought we were going to lose to Georgia.
We are still in the point that we can control our own destiny. Yeah. If we win out, we will go to the SEC championship and we will go to the college football playoff. Yeah. Period. You don't have to be worrying about this. I hope this team loses. If they win out like they are projected to do, you can control your own destiny. Period.
My question is, if we drop 3 losses, is there still a playoff?
Slim and none.
Yeah, you're gonna be looking for
that. Be tough.
Because
Alabama, are they out, or are you saying there's still a shot for them?
No,
they're pretty out. I think.
Yeah, they're on. Because I saw a thing. I can't remember who said it. It was maybe Joel Klatt. Maybe said it. They think the playoffs literally just gonna be full of 10-2 teams. Every seed gonna be 10-2 team.
But also Alabama has a pretty horrendous loss. So.
Yeah, but not they're ranked. So Vandy keeps winning.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's going to be the top. It's going to be the top.
It's top 11.
If you win your conference, you're in automatically.
Yeah, you get the first round bye.
SEC, I would say at least 3 teams from the SEC go.
And that's only the Power 5, right? That if you win, you're in automatically.
Yeah.
What about the Big 12? Who y'all think is going to win the Big 12 conference?
Watch out for Colorado and BYU, man.
BYU, man. My boys can play up there, baby.
And
Those white boys can play.
Iowa State's look good, and this weekend, I mean, they barely snuck past.
Tech was doing good, and then they just got their ass beat by Baylor at home.
I would love to see.
So there goes that.
Utah.
I would love to see a Colorado playoff. I would love that.
Kansas State's still 6-1. I mean, they're up there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Better watch out for A&M too.
Yeah, I mean they got LSU
Quietly, they're quietly running the SEC right now.
They're about to lose this week.
That's
They're about to lose this week. Listen to this stat. I went
LSU.
deep to pull in this stat, boys. LSU is 8-0 in top 25 matches against A&M. A&M will not win this football game.
Favored to win.
LSU has won they are 8-0 when both teams are ranked in the top 25.
I'm not gonna lie. What I would love is this: A&M. What's their record? How many losses do they have?
1
Notre Dame.
against Notre Dame at home.
One loss. If they grab one more loss or something like that, and then we get there and we have 2 losses, and it's like the game to see who can still like survive.
I mean,
that would be electric.
If A&M wins this weekend against LSU and Texas, both win out until they play each other, which is a very good possibility. I mean, you can see where if Texas wins that game versus A&M, that's A&M's first SEC loss, and then they play each other again for the SEC championship 2 weeks later.
That would be crazy.
But I don't know how it would work because say that Georgia wins out, A&M and Texas went out, they all have 1 loss.
Yeah, and then Texas has the head-to-head against A&M.
Yeah,
But Georgia has the against. I don't know.
But
There's so many different ways.
I think it would be whoever wins Texas versus Texas A&M. That would have to be right. Like,
and then I think they play. If Georgia wins out, they've got to put Georgia in there.
Let's just beat Vandy. Let's just beat
No,
Vandy.
100%, week by week. 100%.
Regroup and figure it out. Because I feel what Jinx is saying, man, but I just don't think he can at this point, man. Like I understand your point, but
I think if Quinn comes out and smashes Vanderbilt, I think I'll feel a lot more confident.
Especially
if he comes out and it's like lackadaisical and it's like we kind of sneak by.
If he has another first half like he did last week and like he did against OU
then we can talk about this for sure.
Vandy's defense is not bad. Vandy's defense is not bad. I'm telling you, I've been watching all those Vandy games, right?
I know you have, Dan.
I've been forced to, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been liking what I'm seeing recently. Okay, they're not a bad
person for one this weekend. Are you going to the game?
I'm not sure. I'm still finding out. Dude, I don't know if I want to pay all that money because now that Texas is like coming here, it's real expensive. Yeah,
their offense too, man. That quarterback is a dog, and they're gonna follow that quarterback, and that's an attitude deal. And that's one thing that I don't know about Quinn because I'm not in the locker room, but it just does not seem like he's that guy that, yeah, that's our quarterback. Yeah, we love him, but like those guys for Vandy, they ride for him, and it's a different deal. And, he's not Quinn isn't very, talkative. It doesn't seem like he's just kind of very mellow. And sometimes, man, you need a fiery person, but I don't know. I'm not in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, Vandy hasn't played the only thing is defensive wise because Bama's defense is not good, obviously.
Texas defense.
I realized they lost to Georgia State in their 3rd game.
I know that. See, that was the crazy.
They have some weird losses, dude.
6-32. Yeah. And they lost to Missouri in double overtime. By 3. So
Missouri loss was crazy, yeah.
But
Georgia State is that's
like all those points besides Kentucky, which we know Kentucky's offense sucks. Their defense is good. So that's like the most reasonable defense they played, and they were able to put up 20 against Kentucky, but Kentucky only put up 13. But other than that, like all the other offenses, I mean, they put up over 30 points each game against Vandy. So
yeah, they just need to flush this past week, man, and go to work.
Yeah, and I hope they can.
Defensive wise, I think the quarterback may be in for a little awakening.
And he'll just bust them up a couple times.
Here's a real SEC defense for you for the first time. You really haven't played one quite yet. You've played some big dudes, some star dudes, but not a full defense of them yet.
I agree.
It's still 18.5. Huge.
Has there been any word on Makuba?
Not that I've
seen. Yeah.
So it's just still questionable day to day. I saw Eric was talking today about, I can't remember what game it was last year. Safety was out, and they kind of played like a a one high safety look with and moved Jahade more as like a linebacker type style. If they kind of build a defense around that, obviously keep Jahade at corner, but put like a Mo Blackwell or somebody in more over, or like Gilbo more in over the middle, and just play the one high and let Makuba rest since the bye week's coming up. Like if they're able to have a defense like that, there's no really need for Makuba to have to push it this week. Because the city's day to day, but I mean they're going into a bye. Like you would love if you're confident enough in a defensive scheme to just let him sit and go into the bye. I mean, because having a second bye is huge, especially at this time.
Or trust your backups, man. I mean, they played a lot. So
Yeah.
Jordan Johnson and
I would also
But-
like to see them like establish a true running game. Like let's go pound the ball, right? So that we can start to build up that stat line going into the next game, right? Going into that, because I mean I think people are starting to see that we're losing confidence in our run game, and I think we need to keep on hammering James Blue, like and try to push that.
I really like Wisner, and like Big Boy said earlier, where that last game is really when we miss CJ. But I don't think right now, like Blue, like the ball hits the turf too much with Blue right now.
It does.
So until he can clean that up, I think Wisner's that.
plus you got two guys that you trust.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, they really don't trust Gibson. It's for the pass blocking, or he had a fumble too. Like you don't have many running backs. You know what I mean? That room is very thin now all of a sudden, with two major injuries. And I think the whole, schedule of the SEC, man, I mean, God forbid something happens to Blue or Wisner.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
They're trying to, they already said this week they're holding back his workload for that reason. Why? Because they had to play him a lot the first few games, and they just want to hold him.
Who, Gibson?
Yeah, Gibson.
I don't believe that.
Gibson played a good amount the first few games.
Yeah, but so why hold him out? I don't believe that. I don't think Sark, he wasn't in that circle.
Well, I mean, he's not better than Blue and Wisner, so he's not going to play over them. He's not. I mean, Wisner got the nod because he's been good over Blue.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
Not tell me Gibson's better than Blue and Wisner, right?
No, but I'm saying if he was a real true third team running back, he probably got some runs in that game against Georgia. If he could pass block, he would have got run against Georgia. I think.
Blue didn't even get a carry,
No.
so
No, he didn't. He did not.
we'll see.
So I don't know.
When I say
Bullshit.
run, that doesn't necessarily mean
Yeah.
running. I mean, I'm talking about getting in the game.
That's the thing. Is like he's not really a pass catcher, like those two are, and obviously the blocking is probably a big piece of it too. So
Yeah, Blue got beat up in that last game, in that Georgia game.
Yeah, Blue.
They all did. So
Blue had. I thought they should have ran that play 10 times, where he runs that little slant, that Texas slant.
the Texas route.
he's got some for a running back. He's got a little route tree, and
He
with
does.
him in space, get him the ball in space, man. He can, as long as he just holds on to it.
There were some plays, man, where Gunner was wide open, bro.
Yeah.
And the middle of the field was open, and they just, I don't know. I'm not a quarterback, so I can't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's easy to watch the game and watch film and
100%.
say, "Oh, that guy's wide open,"
Oh.
But that's it's going so fast,
Well,
and especially when you're playing a team like Georgia, bro.
But you're the
Size
quarterback.
so much.
Right, 100%.
I
I'm
feel
just
like
saying.
Art reads through his progressions faster, and also he actually he will actually read through them all, whereas Quinn is just quick to check down, like we said, right? That's why I like Arch, because I feel like he actually does a true field scan. Again, I feel like we're not actually going to know unless you're in their head, but if you watch both of them play, I feel like Quinn is really quick, especially when there's a little bit of pressure. He's really quick to just check right down, right? Whereas Arch, you can see him making all of his reads, right? And then making a decision, where when he gets into a Georgia game and he only gets 2 of the possessions, right? He's still trying to adapt to the timing and how long he can make his reads. And that's where you run into a fumble, right? But if he makes that mistake in the first quarter, right? That's so much better than making that mistake later in the game, right? And that's my personal thoughts when you watch Arch play versus watching Quinn.
Well, I think that's Quinn post injury. Yeah, that's how he was. But before injury, when the dudes got pressure, he was moving in the pocket, making throws, off balance, on balance, setting his feet when he was having to move into the pocket. Like he was doing all that to extend his reads. But it's just like you said 2 years ago, after he's gotten hurt, he just gets so timid and passive, and it's just like he's scared to get hit again.
I mean, like a play that I love looking at in that game was with Arch. I think it was like 3rd and 8, and he like went through every read and the pocket collapsed, and then he kind of like threw to his left to somebody, Blue or Wisner, and he goes and runs out and like we get a first down there. And I look at that play a lot because like I think that play and then the play where he ran for like 15 yards right on like 3rd down or something, and those two
21.
plays alone, what'd you say?
21 yards.
Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. I feel like those 2 plays alone are the reason why I love like an Arch, because when you get into a game where you just have to be crafty, and I don't think Quinn has that craftiness, whereas like Arch does, and he can like extend plays and just, I don't know if that was like a read. I don't know if Blue was a guy that he would like actually go to, but I promise you that if the pocket collapses that way, Quinn he's not making that same pass or that play, nor do I think he's even making it that far. I think he's just dropping down, to be real, or he's trying to scramble knowing he can't run.
Post injury, yeah, 100%. But before that, I mean,
okay, but we're talking about post injury. Like that's what we're talking about.
That's why I'm saying, like, if he's still like, he just needs to get it out of his head that he needs to get back to what he was doing, because I mean he knows how to do it. Obviously, he's done it. Like,
I hope he does, man. And like I said, I get what Jinx is saying. I don't think it's the best thing to do, but
no, I mean,
man, he has to show that I'm here to play and be the fucking quarterback.
If it happens again this weekend, 100%, you do it. But he's not just going to give up on a dude who 3 weeks ago was the Heisman favorite and the projected first quarterback off the board. Like,
I think it's also hard too, because like Arch, I feel like Arch was finally starting to settle in. Like this was kind of weirdly starting to look like his team, right? I feel like walking into OU, it was starting to look like it was Arch's team. Like it seemed, at least to me, like he was settling in okay, and things were working. But I mean, you guys feel like a different way, and unfortunately, if Sark decides to roll with this, it's gonna be tough to get back at this clip.
You might see that because he did good against Mississippi State, but look at the game before that, ULM. He didn't look too damn good. So he did look good against Mississippi State, and things did good. But Mississippi State going to Georgia would have been like going from freshman team to varsity as far as the speed of the game.
Meaning,
if he would have gotten OU, though, that's a beautiful bridge, isn't it?
Well, he did. He did.
So that's what I'm saying. Mississippi
It was still 134-3.
But you see what OU's having to go through right now with running off their veteran quarterback.
Yeah,
didn't think was a thing, and now there's
Jackson Arnold was the future.
Yeah,
and he ain't gonna be there next year.
We're talking about Arch Manning, though.
Yeah,
hey man,
Arnold's supposed to be better than Arch Manning.
Garrett Gilbert was Gatorade Player of the Year, brother.
Yeah,
I had the 6A11, won about 3 state titles.
I mean, you watch Arch play the game, and we've seen it. We've seen the flashes. We've
seen flashes.
We've seen the greatness. Like
Jackson Arnold had a great second half of getting in the bowl game last year after throwing like 4
bowl game. It's a bowl game. Way different.
Football game.
Played ULM.
Yeah, he played ULM and looked like okay, and then he played Mississippi State, and hey, Tom Brady has arrived. I mean, dude, it's there's levels to this. Hey, look at hey, I can tell you this. Look at Quinn's game against Oklahoma State last year. That was the best game to me he's ever played. He had 400 yards by the third quarter, bro. Like, so we look at that like, hey, Quinn's the, I mean, I'm just saying, dude.
They are both good quarterbacks. They are both good quarterbacks, right? But I don't think I have to like explain that it takes that second level to be a national championship winning quarterback, right? to like truly be able to finish the job, it takes a different instinct.
They were Quinn was one play away from going to the national championship last year.
He doesn't know what it takes, though.
And if we didn't have two fumbles,
I'm not worried about making it to the national championship. I'm talking about winning.
Right, but like
Quinn can get us to the national.
but a freshman who started 2 games, that's it. He's it.
Because his ability to like adapt in game. That's the thing. He has the adaptability in game. Quinn does not have that. He might have used to have that, but it's like that the pressure is like on against a very tough team that has a good line, right? And you're getting pressured and you can't step up, make adjustments. I don't care if you were hurt, these things. Like a dog makes those adjustments.
What shows you that Arch could do that?
He's rushing 21 yards on Georgia. Most quarterbacks don't.
But then that was the first time. The other 2 runs he tried to do.
Then they put a spy on him, and that was done.
They put a spy on him. Okay, he got 2 drives. He got 8 plays.
But the next time he tried to run,
But again, what everything that you just said, when the heat is on and the pressure, what have you seen that proves that? Nothing, because it hasn't happened.
Name a quarterback who can come in and 8 plays, having sat on the bench extremely cold, and in 8 plays, right? 8 of them, just walk in
against 2.
Change shit against a freaking Georgia team, right? We're talking about one of the best teams in the country, probably the best.
And didn't score and fumbled the ball, that guy?
I'm
just saying, dog. Like,
name a quarterback, name a 20-year-old who can come in and in 8 plays make a huge difference. I think Kirby. I think they didn't want Arch in that second half.
Bro, they
when they saw Quinn,
maybe so.
First drive.
When they
scored the first drive,
they were ecstatic. They were ecstatic.
They saw Arch run the first drive, and we're like, "This ain't happening again, buddy. You ain't doing that." Second run has to go down early and gets hawked.
We'll never know, and so it's just something. Yeah, we'll never know.
We this in a second, but Quinn Ewers had 1 bad half. He came back in the second half and played pretty good.
Well,
like I said, they could have played it. If they would have played the first half like they did the second half, they won the football game.
I don't agree with that. One of their touchdowns was from the 8-yard line. I
gotta stop you because Quinn Ewers did not just have 1 bad half. We've been experiencing Quinn Ewers for years now. Okay, how many times have we seen him struggle, right? And we give him chance after chance after chance after chance. We've given this guy chances, and where has it gotten us?
He won a conference championship last year. That's where
the semifinals.
What are you talking about? Where did he get us? He won the Big 12 last year.
Congratulations!
Bye to the Big 12. What do you mean where I got us? He went to Alabama.
He beat Alabama
and beat Nick Saban in his last year.
Who was in the playoffs?
Bye, Nick Saban. What do you mean? Where does he got us? He was 1 play away from going to the national championship. What do you mean? Where has he gotten us? He went to freaking the Big House, Michigan, defending champs. He went and beat the shit out of Michigan. What do you mean? Where's the guy? He went into Oklahoma after being hurt and whooped Oklahoma's ass. What do you mean? Where did he gotten us?
That's like saying Colorado went into TCU and beat them, and now they're whatever. Like Michigan is not good, okay?
Bro, they're still the reigning national champions.
The reigning national champions. Okay, they're fraudulent, clearly. Right?
Offense,
it was very clear.
Their offense is bad.
Their offense is fraudulent. Good. Obviously fraudulent, okay?
Defense has shut down everybody.
Quinn has had years to develop.
What did he struggle last year?
Huh?
Quinn didn't struggle in one game.
I know he didn't struggle last year. I'm saying he's had years to develop into this person that he is.
Yeah, and he's had 2 bad halves, each of them the first half, in the last 2 years. He just want to roll him to the curb.
He had a bad game against Georgia.
Now listen, if
TCU, like a few years back,
a few years ago, that was his first year.
Terrible game. Yeah. Terrible game.
Listen,
and there were more that year as well. There were way more that year.
We'll see how he reacts this week. He had some adversity this week, and we're going to see
a bad year, and then he got good, And now he just played a bad half in the SEC, or like a bad game overall, I would say, right? He had a bad game in the SEC.
So
okay?
bench him.
So when you have Arch
To a
Manning,
kid that has proven nothing.
when you have a superstar loading, you have to just have that. It just takes a different kind of guy with a different kind of nuts to be able to start Arch.
Okay, so I understand this. So tell me, like, who has came in as a freshman and just done that?
Tua.
All redshirted. No, they all redshirted. Tua was on the bench.
He redshirted, but then he came in, and Arch was a redshirt as well, was he not?
Yeah, he redshirted last year.
Exactly. I think we had to play. I think sitting him on the bench was
with three of the best wide receivers that are in the NFL right now.
Yes, I think sitting him on the bench was proper, right? We got to give Quinn one last shot, one last roll. You came up short. Let's move the fuck on. That's what I want to do.
I understand your frustration and stuff like that, but that is very rare, brother. It's very rare for a kid who has not played to come in and do it. Just like Nico at Tennessee.
Do it. They're struggling when they have to
He struggled.
Yeah.
Why do you think that when he comes
in
the
Club Nick couldn't play until year 3? Like,
when he comes in the game, the crowd erupts. Okay?
Because he's a Manning.
Because everyone's on his
come on. If his name was John Smith, you wouldn't fucking think about it.
Because he's a Manning, and they know what the Mannings produce, okay?
Dude, I get it, and I think he's going to have his time, brother. But he ain't better than Quinn Ewers right now.
Quinn, here's the thing. Quinn, he's in his head. It's over for him. I personally think we're about to see the actual downfall of Quinn Ewers. He's going to play.
I hope not, man. That's pretty.
He's going to play horrible, and his draft stock is going to plummet. Okay, I don't see him going in the first round. I see him late second round, maybe even sneaking into the I don't see him. I don't see him in the eyes you guys do. He played a very tough defense, and what did he do? He shit the bed.
Like a lot of teams, like Georgia's defense made fucking 30 teams do in the past 3 years.
We're talking about we were the #1 team in the country. We're talking about we got the best players ever.
And they lost.
Everyone else slipped up. I mean,
but again, you just literally went from, listen.
Yeah.
You just literally went from saying you did not think Texas would go undefeated to now saying because he lost to Georgia
when they were the #1,
he sucks, and they should have gone undefeated and win the national championship and all that. Like, let's get to reality, bro.
Oregon's ranked #1, and they've beat Boise State in overtime, beat Idaho in overtime.
They beat Ohio State too.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said,
they beat their big test.
No, it wasn't for old Will
that they would have gone #1. But I'm saying there's no #1. Like.
Saying it's usually, to me, it's about the way in which they lost, right? The way in which Quinn lost, the things we saw him do as a quarterback, right? Quinn cannot scramble. Arch can scramble.
So would you bench Carson Beck? Because Ewers had a better game than Carson Beck.
If there was Arch Manning behind Carson
There's
Beck,
some kid behind him. That's a 5-star. Guarantee you might not know his name, but I guarantee he's a 5-star. And you would never bench. You've never bench him.
If Arch Manning had already sat for a year, he's restless. You don't let greatness sit for that long. You don't. You don't do it. You don't.
Well, hey, we'll see.
This is
what happens.
This is a once in a decade talent.
He's not going to leave. He's going to play the next 2 years. He gets to go week 1 next year into Columbus, Ohio against Ohio State. We'll see really how that goes. You'll probably be calling for Trey Owens next year after week 1 when he struggles at Ohio State in the
I don't think he's going to struggle.
He's going to have his time, Dan. He's going to have his time. But the time's not now.
Ride it out. If he loses another game,
we'll see. Hey, Quinn might lay an egg first half against Bandit, and you might get what you wish.
We'll come back this time next week, and we'll talk about it.
But if it doesn't happen, and Quinn throws for 350 and 4 TDs, you're coming back right here too.
Okay. And I'll shut up and I'll take it. But I'm telling you right now, if Quinn goes in the first quarter and doesn't score a touchdown, Arch is our guy.
I can tell you this: the best thing for University of Texas football is for Quinn to take the rest of the year. Is to lead this team the rest of the year.
It's going to destroy the locker room.
Because when we see those
I,
guys,
don't, I just think it would. He gives us our best option to win.
when
What do
we
you want? Do you
see
want
those
Ewers? I mean, do you want Manning to run the ball 10 times a game?
That's
No,
what OU thought they were going to get from Michael Hawkins, right? That's why they benched Arnold.
Michael Hawkins is a 5-star.
Because he could run. They benched Arnold because he could run. Their O-line sucks, so they need a more playmaker. He ran for the first half against Auburn, and after that, he ain't ran another game since, and now he gets benched. And now they're back to Jackson Arnold.
I want us to take our L if we're gonna take it with Manning and not with Ewers. Ewers, I'm sorry, like I don't know. I've never really liked him that much. Okay,
That could be it.
I've never been the biggest fan.
I think I can tell that. Actually,
Like you said, I don't know if he's got that like actual edge in him. I don't know if he does. Right. I don't. All I know about Arch is that he wears Manning on his back, and he knows that that means something. He can't go out there and be on bullshit.
Dan,
Okay? Every time he
just
puts that,
like the whole freaking University of Texas students, man. That's all they say. And that's why they all crash out when he comes in the game. But at the end of the day, I'll stand by this. I don't think it would have really mattered who was back there that night. To be honest.
all we'll know is the L that Quinn gave us. That's all we will know. We'll never get to know.
And hey,
And
guess
all
what?
the W's
Hey,
they gave
guess
us
what?
last
Guess
year.
what? Guess what? Guess what? That was the L. But they
Bag
still are in control of their own destiny.
This is the
Right
Number
last-
5
here
in the
this
nation.
moment.
this-
Number
this-
5 in the nation and the SEC.
If you're
People
if you're
are
a
saying
top-
that
if
we
you're a
could've
top
had-
10 team in the nation, you don't just bench your quarterback.
This is the last thing I'll say. Last thing I'll say is this, okay? You guys are falling for what I would call like a Texas fan syndrome, right? We've had a lot of tough years, right? It's been a lot of tough years. And now Texas fans are able to talk their shit a little bit, right? Like we have a solid team that you can watch on Saturdays, and it's a great time, right? You guys are okay with making it to the championship game, right? Making it to the semifinal game, conference championship game, semifinal game, and then either winning in the semifinal or losing in it, and then making it to the Natty possibly, and then losing, right? And then you guys get to come on your podcast, right? And we get to say, you know what? Texas football is good again. It's great because technically you are. You're a top 5 team. But damn it, we don't want to just be good. I want to see the Texas that wins it all. That's all they tell. Like we can be this team that comes up short, like a Bama, right? Like a Georgia's been before. But at the
Bama's
end of the day-
dominating.
Exactly. At the end of the day, though, we have not sniffed a title in how long? How long has it been? A lot of years.
5.
Last year.
Well, in 10 we went.
09.
We're talking about 05. We have not touched a title
Yeah.
in damn near 20 years.
That's why you don't just like 1 year out of nowhere just go win that national championship.
No,
Like, you gotta-
Well, and that's why you don't.
That's why you
Like
develop
Bama
the
and Georgia
greatness that you know is going to do it.
He's
doing.
developing.
But if you throw them out there too early, like they did some of these quarterbacks, like Quinn year 1 at Texas was not ready, and you saw what happened to him. They threw him out there.
Arch
Throw
is-
out these dudes like that. Like
I would rather come up short.
Because
I would rather
DJ
come up short
DJ
knowing
sucks
that
now.
Arch came up short.
But
And that-
then,
oh,
bro,
dude,
Dan,
But
you
why?
didn't have the
But
what if
why?
though.
Because
Why though?
he's
Why?
got
Why?
the
Why?
experience now he's got the experience versus we only get Arch one more year, right?
No, he still
He
got.
could be
He
here
still
for
had
2
3 years.
man. After this,
If
he
he's
can
lights
start
out,
for 2
if he's lights
years.
out though, is he not leaving?
Nah, he'll play 2 more.
You really think so?
Then Manning say they want to have 27 starts in college.
Yeah, they're not going to take 1 year.
I'm gonna be real. If Arch
One year
goes
start.
stupid next year, he's gone.
He's already making money, man. There's no
That's
reason.
fine. But guess what? If he goes dumb next year, he's gone.
Like,
Okay, and then you might get your chance. We win the Natty
But,
and all that because
if
the
he doesn't win the 90 next year, it's a
comes down
bust.
to the sky
If
and
he
Manning
doesn't win the
touches
Natty
our
next year,
fucking
it's a
grass.
Arch, I don't see him winning the Natty unless he gets his chance to take them on a run. He needs a chance.
Oh, you just said no matter what, he's a lock. Next year we got it. So
Next year we definitely have it if he gets his
Plays.
chance this year. That's the thing. Quinn needed fucking 4 or 5, like he needed all these years so we could protect Mr.
his
Quinn.
3rd year.
You know, make sure he's okay. And it's like, oh, we need to make sure that he's confident. We need to get. What the hell? We're talking about this guy makes $3 million a year. He better have the best freaking therapist making sure he's confident. I don't care about how he feels. He's 24.
It's not just his feelings, man. What I'm talking about is his footwork. Like, you're going to a different level. Like, yeah, his confidence, we're gonna see. And if he folds, then hey, man, maybe so. But I just don't think. I think people like you, the UT fans, just automatically think if Arch Manning goes in, we're winning it fucking all. He's the greatest quarterback ever to come across. And he may be, but I don't know. There's been a lot of quarterbacks come across and say they're going to be the next greatest thing, and don't do shit.
It's as just a true spectator of the sport, when you watch a guy who literally, like, I don't think I've seen a quarterback as comfortable making his reads. He throws accurate footballs, right, for the most part. He missed. Oh my gosh, people want to freak out because he didn't see the wide open receiver, and he tried to go for the bigger play.
He had 4 picks over 2 games.
Okay,
accurate.
Again, let him settle in. Let him settle in.
He played the whole game. 2 games back to
You're
back.
crazy, bro. You're something else.
3 full weeks of practicing with the ones. 3 full weeks.
He's gonna throw picks. You know why? Because he throws the ball downfield. Right? There's going to be great quarterbacks who still throw picks. There's great quarterbacks who still throw picks.
Shadur Sanders does not throw picks like that.
Mahomes throws picks, right? There's great quarterbacks who throw picks.
Josh Allen doesn't throw picks anymore.
And guess what? Josh Allen comes up short every year. Every year.
He's come up short when he's throwing picks. This year he's not throwing any picks, and they're not coming up.
Lamar Jackson's winning the whole thing this year.
Oh my
Those Ravens, you can't stop them.
No.
Good luck stopping Derrick Henry.
Lamar Jackson is a Quinn Ewers. He can't win the big one.
They won the Heisman. Yeah, no, he's just trash. I think what did I think it is about y'all's generation, honestly, is y'all saw Tom Brady and now you're seeing Patrick Mahomes, and you think like this is just normal. Like, yeah, somebody should dominate for 12 years. Like, bro, it's not normal. It really isn't. So I don't know, man.
Well, I do know this is we can change the title on our YouTube channel to "Let's Talk About Texas Today," because that's all we got to today. But
it is what it was a big game, and I get what Jinx is saying, man.
We'll come back to it.
I just 100% do not think that the best option is him right now. And I might be wrong. Shit, who am I? I'm just some fat dude, that does insurance adjusting. So, but we'll see, man. And
back after this weekend.
I hope they can flush it, and I hope he has all this.
Can the whole team flush it too?
I hope so.
That's the thing. Not just Quinn.
Like they were looking like the number 1 O-line, and then like they're favored to win the number 1 O-line award. Can they flush it after getting their shit rocked and bullied around? Like, that's a big thing too. Can they flush that? So we'll see.
I mean, that was the best. That was the best defensive front and defense that they will face all year, unless they get to the championships and play them again, or maybe somebody else. But
I don't think there is one better.
It's still Georgia, man. It's still they've lost 2 games in 3 years, man.
They got I think they said 7 guys who go in the first 3 rounds on defense. Like,
well, the one edge. Man,
that dude's stupid good.
And again, man, if Quinn would have stepped up on a couple of those.
No, I get it, but still, you're still like
how he's able.
Yeah, they got pressure for sure.
I mean, they had, I think it was 36 or 38 pressures.
And what did UT only get 2 third downs?
Oh yeah, they didn't get third downs, and that was the one thing about the defense too, is they didn't get any much pressure on Beck. Like, obviously Beck messed up himself and threw the picks. But UT didn't get much pressure on him either, so that didn't help on that side of things. But
tell your dog to sit down.
Yeah, man, you always bring that dog in here.
That's all I got for you boys today. I appreciate.
Yeah, we'll see you this time next week, man, because we're gonna have some important conversations after this week.
We're gonna look over that stat line. You know what we need to do on the show? Y'all need to do this, right? Y'all need to start pulling up clips so we can watch the clips and you can break down the film.
Let's just break down Manning's freshman year of high school, and we can just see how a real quarterback's supposed to play.
Ralph, you can put those in on here, right?
Yeah, you can screen share.
Yes, you guys need to start
just need the
adding
film.
clips, like breaking down the game.
Where you
Like,
get the film
true-
from.
exactly.
Have access to the film.
YouTube, go to YouTube.
Yeah, you get it to a degree of like them playing, but it's not like it's broken down with the right.
Get the all 22.
Yeah, you don't get the nice angles and all that kind of stuff you see people post on Twitter. Like,
Well,
Well, I mean, we're also on a freaking Zoom company, right? So
Hey, man.
you get right,
Hey,
like
fucking ESPN, bro. Sorry.
we could still post.
hey, ESPN.
No, y'all are saying we can't get halfway decent film. Like we could get some halfway decent film.
okay, we'll bring you in every week. You'll bring the film.
I'll break
Break it down. Yeah.
I'll break it down.
And you break it down for us.
Okay,
We'll add you to the intro, Dan. You'll be just a new person on here.
let's go.
You can
Let's
take
go.
Kobe's spot since he doesn't show up anymore. So
Exactly.
All right, boys. See y'all.
yeah.
All right, Jakes.
That's the typical Texas fan right there, boys.
We'll see.
Grass
I
isn't
just
always greener on the other side.
always.
Not always greener on the other side.
Yeah, and Dylan Gabriel might win the Heisman this year. While OU just fired their OC, and the coach might get fired if it goes too bad this year.
If they don't make a bowl game, yeah.
Listen, man, it could be OU got a schedule.
They only got one more guaranteed dub. And that's it. They got Maine. That's all they got left next weekend.
And what they've won 5 games at this point or 4?
Four.
Yeah.
Daisy. Maine will be 5. They got to play. They got to go to Ole Miss. They got to go to LSU.
Well,
They got to go to Missouri.
Missouri's overrated.
They
They're
got-
both those teams are pretty bad.
But who's going to be your quarterback at that point?
Missouri's their best chance.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're sticking with Arnold now. They burned his red shirt. He's not leaving. He's not leaving the field. If they tell him to, he said no, because they said he said himself in a press conference. He told Brent he's like, I don't want to take like bullshit snaps and burn my red shirt unless like I'm actually going to play and like help this team win. Then I'm down. But like I'm not taking meaningless snap and burning my red shirt. So I mean, I think he's there for the rest of the year.
Yeah, but then the other how is the other red quarterback's red
they,
shirt?
They screwed this situation. Nah, he still has his red shirt.
Bro, Arnold was supposed to be the next best thing from sliced freaking bread.
And he could have been, but you got it, dude. This is the SEC. This is big time college football. It's not just that easy, bro. We're not playing video games. Here.
It's not easy to play quarterback.
No.
Especially now, like recently, like I mean, you finally see more and more analysts talk about it. Like playing quarterback is getting harder and harder because these defenses are getting better and better, and they're learning more and more new schemes, and people are just copying one another on what to do and hiding schemes. Like offense, you can't hide schemes. Like you can't hide really that much.
Well,
on defense,
one thing you can do is like pre-snap motions, and that's one thing Sark did not do, surprisingly, in the beginning of the game. And it was I don't know. I don't think Sark was on. I think Sark when things don't go to plan, sometimes he gets like panic, like I'm not going to run the ball. I'm just going to throw it deep. He's going to do this.
100%.
It's
got out coached. I mean, Kirby.
They got their ass whooped. There's no two ways about it, man. They just got smoked. And hey, you got to regroup, man, and get ready for Vandy, because if you lose to them, there's going to be a lot of talk.
Yeah, it's bad.
Just go in there, handle business, go to the bye week, get healthy again, get together, because their last little stretch is a stretch. And don't let A&M beat LSU, because they're going to be hot. So,
yeah, let's see. I don't know. Well, boys, we kind of went, straight Texas ball there, but
all right.
Do what?
So we're running a little long. It's all right.
yeah.
Okay.
Got anything else before we wrap it up?
No.
Baltimore's winning it all.
Go Tigers.
Baltimore's winning it all.
Baltimore does look good.
Their defense is good too.
Yeah.
They can run. They keep feeding Derrick Henry on the limited carries he's getting.
Bro.
Hey, and the Steelers, that's going to be a good game when they meet, man.
They got some defense. Russell
49ers, everybody's hurt.
They're toasted.
Oh, 49ers. Their best wide receiver is the dude who got shot 2 months ago. I mean,
Is he back playing?
Yeah, he's the most healthy. He's their most healthy, good wide receiver they have, and he got shot 2 months ago. That's bad.
That's pretty bad.
What if
Back
they
to
get
the-
Cooper Cup? They can't afford him though.
No, they can't. They're gonna struggle after this.
What
year.
if Kansas City gets Cooper Cup?
Mahomes looks like doo doo? So then they still,
But he's
They
undefeated.
still win.
He's undefeated.
they
So
still win.
yeah, that I was talking to a buddy of mine today, Quan, and he was like, "How are they winning games? He has more interceptions than touchdowns."
They just win. And he throws picks like he just turns the ball over at the right time. He turns the ball over on the other side of the field, not where the team has to score 30 yards and they score a touchdown. Like
I don't know, man.
Oh, it should be interesting.
I know the Cowboys are out.
Cowboys are rough. I mean, it's like
they're a
bad.
good team. Bye week.
Did you hear what Jerry said today? He said, "I don't think Derrick Henry would have been as successful in our scheme."
Saw that.
So you're telling me a guy that's going to be in the Hall of Fame, who's broken all kinds of rushing records, who's 6'4", 250.
Probably gonna have one of his career high years, honestly.
I mean, what kind of statement is that, man?
He's just throwing shit out there at this point, man.
And he was back on the radio station that was trying to flame him last week and actually get some shit out of him. So he came in with the attitude this week and was just not even letting him do anything.
But we got Rico. Oh, and
we got
Yeah.
Zeke, who we got to baby up to once Rico has one good game and goes off, and they hand the ball off to him 20 times, and he actually plays good and probably wins him the game. But no, baby Zeke goes and cries the week after, so now we got to give him the ball.
McCarthy's like, "Fine, just give him my money.
Just
I'm gonna go back to the woods and chill, whatever."
yeah.
His daughter went to Lake Travis.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, back in
I
the
didn't know
day.
that.
I guess his ex moved here or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he was living here, but I know she went to Lake Travis.
Interesting.
I remember because that was when they were. I think that's when they won the Super Bowl with Rodgers because they said something about it on local. But
Whew, boys, that's all I got for y'all, man.
hey, WNBA action too. Let's get these girls re-signed.
Yep.
You can't
Going
afford
from the lowest year of 40 million lost, let's go. Let's try to move it up to like 25 next year.
you
That's
can't
our goal.
afford- Right.
This was their best year ever. It ain't gonna happen. You had all the hype. You just didn't play it right.
Yep.
Oh, they did. They screwed it up big time.
They screwed it big time.
That's just what everyone's saying.
Too catty.
They messed it up.
Yeah. The players did.
Oh yeah.
Their own players messed up the best thing that they could have had
Yep.
by hating.
Yep. 100% for sure. All right.
But-
Watch some game one playoff baseball Friday night.
When does it start? Friday?
Friday.
7. What do you got Friday? You don't got shit.
Going to Liberty Hill, man. It's homecoming.
Ooh, who they got?
No, I have no idea. I'm not going to the. I'm not going to. I got a little kid, man. I'll be sitting here watching Netflix. or
Watching
something.
baseball. Make him watch baseball. That's where the money is.
I ain't going to all these summer travel league stuff. You better make a decision quick about this because I don't want to have to go to summer.
It's all sports now really do it because football, unless you're an O lineman, like you're doing that shit for 7-on-7, you're traveling if you're good. So
We'll see what wrestling's inside. So is
you know what
jiu-jitsu.
they do. Well,
All right.
y'all have a great rest of your night, man.
You too.
We'll maybe just hop on a call for the game this weekend. So, Coop won't be part.
What time's the game?
3:15.
3:15.
Cool.
Yep. Like, subscribe, boys. Thank y'all.
Oh, Coop with the little outro. Look at that.
That's right. Hit the bell. Well, we haven't done that in a while. Big boy, do it.
Ring that bell.
Yeah, there we go.
All right. We'll see you next week on the Sports Roundtable Trio Edition. Peace.